What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to bring you guys a new video talking about Tyrande. So essentially what happened was Alex Itch came into my chat the other night and was talking up Tyrande, saying it was OP, and was saying that he had seen a lot of people playing it, so I decided to try it. Essentially what happened was Tyrande got a buff to her attack speed recently. And why is that important? Her level, I guess all of her talents really, but her Light of a Loon kind of has a battle momentum to it where every time you basic attack, you decrease the cooldown of your Q. And we were talking about it, and he had said that essentially what you do now on Tyrande is she is a ranged assassin. And all you want to do is focus heal yourself. So every time this ability is on cooldown or off cooldown, you want to cast it on yourself. And why is this important? Well, at level 4, you will get the magic resist talent that basically every time you cast it on yourself, you get 15% spell armor, and then it caps at 60. So you have to heal yourself 4 times, which also I might say, Blizzard, you need to implement something that basically allows people to see how many stacks of this Q she has, because right now not only can Tyrande not tell what her spell armor is at, people looking at her can't. Right now it's only showing as a little spell armor bubble. So I do think that there needs to be something there that either shows it or whatnot. But anyways, continuing on, so I decided that I would try it, and it just so happens that it was we were trying to team league into Donk Train and Horse Pants and Moonfairs. So we sat in team league queue for a while and ended up just never hitting each other 2,000 seconds in. So we did a custom game, and today I want to kind of talk about the build and show it off, as I actually do believe that it is pretty powerful, especially in a setup like the one we have here where you are the ranged assassin. So I think what a lot of people think with Tyrande is, you know, you should be healing others, but in this case, everyone's healing you and protecting you, and you're healing and protecting yourself. So level 1, we took the Lunar Blaze talent. I don't really like the other talents at level 1. I mean, Lunar Blaze, you're always going to get value. You could opt to go the Owl talent, maybe. I could see the Owl talent being good at some maps, because it makes your Owl scale forever. But I think the increased range on E once you hit 20 can be very valuable in the late game. But as you'll see here, the idea of this build really is that I always feel like it's loud, but it's probably not that loud for you guys. The idea of the build is that you want to 1v1 people when you use Shadowstalk. And I think that's another core of the build, actually, is the Shadowstalk talent. So what I didn't know is that when you cast it, you immediately turn invisible, and you stay invisible. So the way I look at it, and coming from like a Zeratul player background, you basically become Zeratul. You can gank people really, really effectively. The other thing is you can actually use it as a, you know, make yourself invisible talent in the middle of a team fight, which can also be really, really powerful, right? Just being able to go invisible. You'll see in this game, even with the other team having the Zul, being able to go invisible so Zul can't cast his cage on me is going to be really effective in the late game. So, but this is just the early stages of the game. Not really too much excitement going on. You know, we do have the Stitches Tyrande, which is a classic combo, right? Which is also another reason why maybe Tyrande is good, because Stitches is so meta. And people are fighting for supports that have CC, right? And we see, we've seen a lot of people fight over the Malfurion and the Uther in that role, just so they have follow-up. So maybe Tyrande is the follow-up that we really need, right? You can even see here, I managed to keep the Stitches alive just through my heals. Unfortunately for us, he hooks Horse, and then Horse has backlash up, so ends up kind of outplaying himself there. But so yeah, I think it's actually funny and ironic that Tyrande kind of fills that role of follow-up for the Stitches. So maybe she is better. Here I got a Sniper Owl. Feels good, man. And I almost I baited Alex there. I started healing myself. I thought about healing him, but I think it's a good rule of thumb to continue to heal yourself. And the reason that's important is because you want to maintain your spell armor, right? You have only a few seconds. Let's see. I think it's 6 seconds. Okay. So you have 6 seconds to re-heal yourself. Otherwise, you'll drop the entirety of your spell armor. So it's really important that you don't actually give other heals to other people because you want to maintain the spell armor yourself. Kind of like a mage armor Cassia is the best way to explain it. So here though, you see with the stitches, it is really powerful. It is really powerful to have that Tyrande follow up, right, with the mark. So now you can see as well, I'm gonna just focus self-healing myself. This also means that my support can, you know, not put so much attention on me. Even if in this case, you know, with an Uther, it's even better. Here you can see the follow-up on the Stitches hook. I actually end up backing. Running low on mana. You know, she's also pretty good against the one-shot because let's just say you are healing your tank. Even if you heal your tank once, you give him a 15% spell armor, right? That's a little mini spell armor. And on a lot of the tanks nowadays, like a Nubarak, for example, that's a substantial amount of spell armor considering he already has it. So you can see here with the Stitches, you know, although Falsehead's trying to kill him, he has the 2. I had given him 2 heals that fight, and so he had 30% spell armor. So it's not really only for yourself, right? I will say in this game, I ended up taking True Shot Aura at level 7. So this gives you 10% attack damage to you and your nearby allies, and it lasts 5 seconds. The reason I took this talent on this map is because essentially how this talent works compared to our other talent, Darnassian Archery. Darnassian Archery gives you 5 attack damage bonus for 4 seconds, and it stacks on itself. So if you keep attacking the enemy over and over and over, right, then you increase your attack damage by 5%. Okay? And that can stack up to like 30-40% if you never attack anything else other than heroes. But the second you attack a minion that is not a hero, even a summon, this will break that stack. So on this map, you can see, even right now, I'm focused a lot more on wave clearing. All right, so I'm gonna pause here, and this is to me where you are going to get free wins with the Tyrande, okay? And why I think this is so powerful. Essentially, people aren't ready for this invis, and the invis not only makes you invisible, it takes off the map, but it gives you mount speed. So right now I'm moving at the same speed I would be if I'm mounted. So truthfully, you don't have to mount up. You can just hit stealth. I disagree with that because sometimes you want to owl on Tyrande, and you should be looking to stealth kind of in fog. The other reason for that, though, is that when you hit your stealth, a little beam of moon comes down onto you. So even though you're invisible, the other team sees that beam, so they can kind of tell where you are for a few seconds. But here you'll see this is where I think a lot of power in this build comes. You can get these ganks the same as Zeratul and kind of just 1v1 anybody. And a lot of people won't know. As you can see, I've gotten in the most perfect position for this gank, right? I'm behind him. I have landed my mark. My stun's going to connect. I've caught him completely with his pants down. And here you can see with just the attack speed, and obviously maybe a little Uther follow-up. I don't think it was necessary, but it does help to have that. We get a pick. And this is going to happen a lot this game, and partially the reason why I think this build's so powerful. You can see me again here. I'm just on the stalk. This is when I had asked if the other team had Abathur top, because I seen the Locust, and lo and behold, there's the Abathur. So we're again going to get rewarded. Abathur doesn't see us on the map. The other team has, you know, no idea about this. So we're just going to get this kill for free. I saw the Murky there that was invisible. And then we have the bonus move speed on the way out for 5 seconds. The other cool thing is when you break mount, you still retain bonus attack speed and the movement speed for 5 seconds. So you have a good 5 seconds to kind of have a little mini sprint going on. And this is also on a 20-second cooldown, so you'll see me basically use this anytime I'm rotating. I just hit it, because a lot of the time too you can rotate here with Horse Pants. Every time he gets near me, I can invis. I accidentally get hit by his W, but my team does a good job of rotating and saving me. The other thing is a lot of Zul's damage is magic damage, and it doesn't really do anything to my hero. So again, yeah, when you rotate, a lot of the time I think stealthing is good, because then if somebody is camping this bush, they might not see your rotation, right? Much harder to see your rotation when you're invisible than if you are visible. And you want to play it like Zeratul. You know, you don't really want to show yourself. You want to stay kind of in fog maybe until you need to show and pop out. The other thing is Tyrande's hitbox is actually disgustingly small. And because she's unmounted when she's invisible, much like Nova, it's very, very hard to see her compared to Zeratul, where a lot of the time when you're invis, you're on a mount. So I ended up, you know, stunning off of the hook like a proper Tyrande should, but the stitches gorged. In the end, we ended up picking up the kill anyways. And again, you see the invis, and I want to find them, right? Even if they see me, they're not going to see me as easy as I'm going to see them. Here's a great example of it. I just walk past Horse. I get the info on the Falstad flying top. You know, I'm collecting all this information while I'm invisible. Moonfair thinks he gets away. Bam. So, real quickly, too, I want to discuss my 13. I don't think Empower is correct. Harsh Moonlight is disgustingly OP. This is another talent that's just going to increase your 1v1 potential. This is a Shrink Ray on top of your Owl. And if you guys didn't know this, you quest your Owl talent. So every time you hit your Owl talent, every 8 hits, I guess I should say, you decrease the mana cost of it, and your Owl pierces. So if you continue to hit your Owl throughout the game, you can pierce your Owl maybe 2 or 3 times. And in a team fight even, this is substantial, because this is kind of a Shrink Ray Owl. That's what I call it, because it slows the target and it reduces the damage they deal by 30%. It's not the normal, I think, 50 on Shrink, but it is kind of a mini Shrink Ray, and it's AoE too, technically, because your Owl pierces. So really, you're supposed to take this talent, and then when your opener would be, you stealth up, you auto them off their mount, you Owl them so they're slowed, then you connect your stun 100% almost, unless they have some sort of evasion. And with Falstad, you'll see I'm just gonna rip raw stuns and make him react to me. I think that's also proper too, kind of trying to read the movement of the person and then just stun off of that. But a lot of the time, you'll see when people wave clear, a lot of the time, they just stand still in the wave. You'll see Horse will probably do it here, right? You see how he's kind of standing still? If I come up on him while he's wave clearing, he'll be standing still, and I get, I get a stun connect for free, basically. So here, again, I'm rotating invisibly. I think this is better than rotating being seen. If I were to walk past someone, they would have to see me. Here I can walk even through minion waves. The other team has to be looking at that wave. Walk through mid. Now I'm headed up top. And we're going to get the surprise factor again. Immediately put my mark on the Stukov, stun him. And now my self-healing will start to come into play. And you'll see that every time my heal is up, I use it on myself. And that's going to help me maintain that spell armor. so that even a Murky with a hat is not gonna do any damage to me. Sadly, I had just owled, so I couldn't owl the DK mid. But here you'll see I'm actually looking for Zul, and I'm much more confident and not as respectful as I should have been to the new Zul damage. Turns out, even if it was old Zul, I'm pretty sure I die there. If a Zul gets a backlash with a root and full Skelly mages on you, you're gonna die. But the new Executioner really helps him out there too, to deal absurd amount of damage. I like how Ishbu, I thought he was headbutted here, and he ended up like perfectly calcing his body, so he got tossed into the hard camp. And then because he's race card Dino, he gets out of there. Although Ish technically misplayed because he should have ran through this brush as well, but he doesn't really play that much Dahaka. Especially not new Dahaka. So we'll speed up a little bit. Here you can see I mount out of my base, invisible. You move the same speed, right? Now this is where the fun begins. So we hit 16, and I honestly think this talent is pretty busted as well. So this talent says when you attack a target, you receive 2% of your max health. If you attack a target that's marked, you receive an additional 2%, but anybody that attacks your mark also gets a 2%. So basically, your team will heal 2% of their health when they attack your mark target, but you include that. So you get 4% if you're attacking someone with a mark on them. So here we see the Shadowstalk again. This would have been really good to have that slow owl, right? The slow owl would have been sick here because I would have marked and slowed both of these guys on that Pierce, right? And you see Horse Pants goes to kill me with a root, but they kind of mistime that stuff. And here I'm just building up my spell armor before we go into this fight. So now I have probably 30-40 spell armor, and I just want to keep attacking and healing myself. Yep. We end up killing 3 of them. That was a 6 stun by me. Usually I always want to wait for the minions to kind of huddle around and then look for that stun. But I would say, like, going back to this kind of statement with the Darnassian archery, that would be a really good talent on, like, Sky Temple and Towers of Doom, Cursed Hollow, right? Where you're, like, fighting, even Battlefield of Eternity if you're not hitting a boss, really. Where you're, like, fighting over a channel, or oh, this is a funny one. See, this is what I was talking about with the raw with the raw stun. Like, he has to react immediately the second I show, and he might have been looking at something else. There's no telling, but I like how Alex Itch also shoves down the AP banner. Just insult to injury. There's absolutely no way that Falstad lived there, but for the memes. You can even, looks like Siege Towers. Oh, this is a good pick by Rival. Rival is just hanging out here. And the Zul rotated through him. So this was the true test for me this game, and what I really wanted to see was how strong was or is this build. And at this point I knew their team was doing this double Falstad fly thing, like fly with the Falstad and Abba. So this is where I really wanted to test out the build, and I start self-healing myself here to build up my spell armor because I assume it's gonna happen. And I'm saying, you know, how strong is Tyrande? You can see I already have the 45% spell armor built up, and here comes the double Falstad. Okay, I react, I would say, improperly with the immediate invis. I could have gotten gusted and then invis and just ran away. Like, it would have been a totally happy day. But I do hit the invis early, thinking, you know, if you don't take damage, you know, you're fine on the stealth. But it's like if you get hit by anything, then the stealth breaks. So there's not a window with like Samura, right? You just, the second you get hit by anything, it breaks. So that is something I learned. But I do have the attack speed and the move speed. So I have the 60% spell armor going on. End up hitting a double stun, and you can see the heal there that I'm getting from my passive plus my autos with all that attack speed. Allows me to take a 2v1 because of this talent, paired with my attack speed, paired with 60% spell armor, paired with the, you know, Shadowstalk, a bonus attack speed too. And I'm able to take a 2v1. And this is without the 13 owl, because I do believe that the 13 owl, I'll just admire that beast up that I wasn't aware that I threw out, but I respect my own self for doing it. Yeah, so even without the owl that does the kind of, you know, slow, I was able to connect the stun, and I do think that was an important part of it. But if you are playing Tyrande, if you want to play her efficiently, then landing the stun is necessary, right? And then now we have the final touch, which is the increased attack speed. And now attacks against targets reduce their damage by 8 up to 5 times. So what is that? I'm not even going to do the math because I'm boosted right now, but it's, yeah, I can't do math. It's 40%, right? Something like that, close to it. I think it's 40% if my math is correct. All right, anyways, 40% damage reduction on top of a 30% damage out if you hit it. You're healing yourself every auto. You have 60% spell armor, and now you guys know why this is the 1v1 me bro, because you can't 1v1 this hero at this state in the game. I don't believe. You would have to have all hands on deck, and even with all hands on deck, here again I misplayed that stealth. I was trying to help Alex. Even with all hands on deck, I don't believe she can go down if she has the support to keep her up. Like a Monk Palm, for example, Uther D Shield, things like that might be really powerful to protect her, since he's already protecting herself, right? Here we can see Horse comes up to hit a root on me, and I kind of outplay him. I activate the Shadowstalk, so I immediately go invis, so he can't, he's not able to get the root on me. At this point, I know if I don't get rooted, I can't die. And you can see the attack speed now with the Shadowstalk. I will say that her attacks don't hit a lot, but you have to think about the fact that she is healing herself. She's, you know, taking away the damage of the enemy that she's hitting, while also kind of protecting her own self, right? Here we go again. I'm just kiting out of this. Dunk makes a really good play here. Dunk ends up getting gorged by Stitches as Murky, and then destormed. Moon Ferris, I mean, he can't see me. That's the thing. Moon can't see me there, so he doesn't, you know, he's trying to gust our team. I mean, it's not a bad play at all. It's just, there's no way for him to know that I'm standing right there. Great hook by Rival, and I get a good follow-up. Again, if I had slow owl there, he's slowed. I mean, it's funny, a lot of this game, I just think about if I had the owl, then I would be so much better off. Here, you know, even Horse knows I'm here, but I have this movement speed. It's really hard, you know, you need like a Vala or something along those lines if you really wanted to. Oh man. If you really wanted to do something. I even get heals on Alex there. Does Alex end up going down? Doesn't look like it. He's getting that. Okay, he does. This is a funny play too, I think. So this is that moon thing that I'm talking about. So although the fight's going on over here, I'm able to stealth and get a flank on Moon. He even Gust, he believes he's alive right now. And then I just show up and auto him down. So like mid-team fight, because of the low cooldown on this ability, you can hit this 1 or 2 times, or you know, you can open with it and then you have it again, and then maybe you get a pick off of that and then you have it again. Maybe you invis and rotate somewhere completely different than the team fight. But the other team has to respect the fact that you might be in the fight. And I think that's, again, the strength of invisible heroes. But we're kind of putting that strength on a ranged hero that applies a lot of pressure in a fight. Here, you know, with Dunk, he comes up on us. Even if, you know, he were to get out of that, I think with the spell armor and, you know, my attacks nerfing his damage, I really don't think he can do much. Here I'm just gathering info against the invisible heroes. And you can see the attack speed really. This was me trying to stutter step. You honestly don't have to stutter step, but I just like to. And the grand finale of the game, and I think one of my favorite moments, is what's about to happen. So I get gusted, and this time, because of the last time, I've learned not to stealth off of the gust. So prior to this fight, I got gusted, but I stealthed immediately to react. So in this fight, I actually end up getting gusted, and then I stealth after the gust, which is so important because the immediate stealth allows none of these zombies to hit me, right? And we see with the bonus move speed, I'm able to sidestep the Zul Q. Then we have this Falstad clone coming in for me. He throws Q. I'm able to outrun it. Right? Now Falstad has no possible way of getting me out of this. And then, Horse in a panic, he has to fight here. I show up. Now I have my bonus attack speed. I'm trying to nerf everybody's damage. Again, I'm not healing my teammates because it's not my job, although it can be. But it's important to maintain my own self so that I can carry the game out. And we end up cleaning up the fight. I even popped the stuff I can. It just feels like you never run out of stealth with this build, which I find to be amazing. But yeah, I was honestly very, very entertained by this build, and honestly surprised by its power. At first, like I said, Alex kind of talked to me about it like it was a meme. And then when I started to read everything, and then try it, I was actually really surprised to see how strong it really was. I mean, we can see here, you know, I did almost as much healing as Uther. You know, almost as much damage as Alex. I had an okay amount of siege damage, to be quite honest. Obviously not a wave clear hero, but lots of kills, little deaths. You know, I think she really might fill the support role for the team because of the fact that, you know, she does provide a CC for the stitches, for example. She can follow up the Anubirak. You don't have to then take Malfurion. You can take other things, right? So it'll be interesting to see if people continue to dabble with it, but I firmly believe if you guys are trying to level up in Hero League, this build and this hero is a really good cheesy way to do it, because again, no one will be able to 1v1 you. Like, no one should be able to ever 1v1 you. You have insane strength in the 1v1. You have, you know, insane strength in team fights, honestly. You provide a lot of utility for your team. You provide vision with your owls, and even if you just walk your body towards them, you can escape ganks. You can make ganks happen. She's really a versatile hero and a lot of fun. So I figured I'll upload this gameplay and this build. I had a lot of fun this game. It's fun. It's fun playing against Dunk and them. So, and of course I was playing with my teammate Ishbu, a couple subs, and Alex Itch. So it's a really fun game, but I figured I'd upload it for you guys so you can enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys think Tyrande's OP, or, you know, did I play it well? Does their team comp just not? Is their team comp just not good? You know, would it work in a real scenario? I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you think, and maybe try out the build and then let me know too, because I wasn't a believer until I played it, and then I've played it in a few games by now, and I've really enjoyed it every single game and felt incredibly impactful. I think the real key is that you have to establish that you are not the support and that you will not really be healing others. You are only going to heal yourself, and you will do carry damage if you do, you do end up healing yourself. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys all so much. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to throw a like and subscribe. Go ahead, check me out on Twitter. There's going to be located below in the comments, or in the description, I guess I should say. I'll also put a link to this build in the description just to make it a little bit easier. But that's going to be it for today. Again, thank you guys all so much, and until next time, I'll see you then. Cheers.